Hi, Pam Dyson. I'm the founder and the director of the St. Louis Center for Play Therapy Training. I'm here today in my play therapy room. Behind me you'll see my collection of miniatures that I use in sand tray work that I do with children and with families. I'm here today to share a play therapy tip with you, that something that I learned from one of my child clients. It always never ceases to amaze me how much I learn from them, strategies that I can then use to help other children with similar concerns. I was working with a 7-year-old girl, and she had some fears. And we were working on teaching her phrases that she could use to talk back those fears. Her particular fear was a fear of monsters that come around at night, like they like to do quite often, right outside the windows of children's rooms. Have you ever noticed that? That's where those monsters and ghosts seems to hang out. So she came up with things that she could say to the monster to make the monster go away and not be so frightening to her. And so I thought it would probably be helpful, in addition to rehearsing them out loud, to write them down. So I handed her a clipboard with a piece of paper on it, and I gave her a marker. And there was something very powerful about that moment when I handed her the clipboard. And I sat there in amazement as she held this clipboard, and she sat a little taller, and she wrote down the statements she'd been rehearsing, like, "Go away, you don't scare me," or "You're not the boss of me." And as she wrote them, even the tone of her voice as she said them out loud became more confident. Soon she stood up and was writing them standing up, and there she held that clipboard. And I got to thinking, when you have a clipboard in your hand, it means you're in charge, you're an authority figure, that you have an agenda and you have a mission and you have things to do. When I think about people that I've seen using clipboards over the years, that's usually the image that clipboard portrayed. And so here you handing this child a 97-cent clipboard to use as a tool to help her come up with those strategies to overcome her fear of monsters was very, very powerful. And it taught me a strategy that I've now been using with other children and seeing just as much power in a clipboard. So if you haven't already invested in a couple of clipboards, do so. You can find them usually for $1, sometimes a little bit more, but $1 is a pretty affordable investment into giving a child a very powerful tool that can help them overcome some challenges that they have and come up with some really effective coping skills. If you liked this play therapy tip, I have a lot more on my YouTube channel. I also share them on my Facebook page. I also have pin boards on Pinterest, and you can find the links to all of those websites and a lot more information at www.stlplaytherapy.com.